Welcome to TimeBolt Office Hours Live on September 29th, 2022. You are live with Doug and Quinson. We are here to check your workflows, answer your questions, and generally just make sure you're getting the best out of TimeBolt. We do have some fixes and patches that we are working on today. Rodolfo, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, hi there, everyone. Yeah.
Hi, Rodolfo.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. No, it's great to have you. Could you give us a little bit of background about yourself and how you got into video and found TimeBolt and what we might be able to help you with today?
Yeah, of course. So basically, I started doing YouTube 1.5 years ago, more or less. I have two motorcycle channels, one in French and one in English. So it's been going well. And I came across TimeBolt because I was having so much trouble with cutting my videos and taking out silences. I found it so tiresome and a very great expenditure of time. So yeah, I was very happy with the software, and I'm considering buying a lifetime subscription because I think I'm going to use that thing forever. And I'm having it's a small problem really, but the tool being so cool, it's the very last thing that's making me not have that much time gain. The thing is, when I export a file into a FCPX XML file on Final Cut Pro, the padding timings I get on Final Cut Pro are always going to be shorter than on the TimeBolt preview tool. Like it's very slight. It's like 0.5 seconds. But since I'm working with very energetic jump cuts on my videos, I always have to adapt and adjust. And I don't know if there's something I can correct on the settings, or I've been messing with the padding timings for a very long time. I tried different things. So I'm not sure it's coming from that. Maybe it's coming from Final Cut. But yeah, that's the only problem I have, really.
Can you show us an example? I don't know until I can see it.
Yeah, I think I can share my screen.
Yes, you can share your screen. And while you're pulling that up, Rodolfo, I believe you're the gentleman that you had sent in the community forum your settings that you use. And it's interesting. So he's having some issues with it not sync or the time codes being off, but he actually has it the left padding at 0.0, okay, because he was saying like these excited jumps, and you're saying that even when you tried like a 0.01, it still didn't matter. Yeah,
because I don't really have problem with the left padding. The problem I have is more the right padding, because the detection is fine on the left padding. I don't have any problems with that. It works very well. It's more on the other side, where each time if I have a word like looks or bike, and I just want it to end at the right point, it's not gonna be bike, but it's gonna be buy on the Final Cut Pro final file. And on the TimeBolt preview tool, the problem is not going to be there. I'm just going to show you quickly. Okay, so basically, I'm just going to show you here on TimeBolt. You can see that on this big sequence, you have at the end of the sequence, you have a small silence. You can see that the sound fades, and there's this small silence. And even after the sequence just after, you have like a spike just here and after. It's a very small silence. I don't know if I play.
So the thing is that I think this audio is too low volume to do perfect detection. So there's an option that you have if you go into settings.
Yeah.
So there's the settings option there. You have that volume increase button.
Okay.
Yeah, you can click that, and then you can start TimeBolt again. You can click on File and click on New.
I just select another file. Just do the same thing.
You'll have to cancel first.
You have to restart the app.
You can also do that. Yeah.
You have to restart the app.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So you can do it.
Okay, so I'll do it like that.
So now it's louder, right? So we'll have to adjust your settings a little bit. So you need to go to the bottom, scroll down. The 0.05, right? That's too. That's too small. Usually it's you should keep it above 0.2. 0.5 is the best, but 0.2 is good.
Okay.
Left padding is 0. Okay, let's check. Let's update silence and see what happens. Okay. Can you export this to?
Yeah, of course. XML. Okay.
Which bike do you ride, by the way?
Me personally, I have a Suzuki Hayabusa 2021.
Nice.
Damn.
I have a Z900. I ride a Z900.
Oh, that's
so like the best.
Did you say Hayabusa is a cult classic, man?
Dude, in the US, man, I mean, we all like gather around those machines.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
It's a very popular machine in the US.
I want to
That's a very popular machine for drag races, and I know that Americans love drag races.
Have you modified it?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Have you modified the bike? Have a swing on and stuff?
No, yeah, I've installed just a full exhaust racing line from a Krapovic, but we are not too keen on modifying here things in France because policemen are a bit like strict on that.
I understand.
So let me just check.
Why wouldn't you want to share the sound? Why isn't that on by default? It's kind of like, have you ever like done Venmo? Seriously, have you ever done Venmo and you just want to pay your child support or your hair lady, right? and it defaults to public. Okay, like,
oh fuck,
it's like, come on, who the fuck wants to post what they're paying people? You know, it defaults to public. I just don't understand that. Like, unless you, it's just like
everybody
this.
knows you're paying child support.
Yeah, it's like baby mama 1, baby mama 2. You know, it's like, what the. That's what happens in the US.
So you'll hear because here on TimeBolt I can see that there's a very slight silence and it's cut off. It's cut off on the final render in Final Cut Pro. You can see here that the wave just stops short, and on TimeBolt you have that small silence, so that's not going to change the problem. If I want to make this very short on TimeBolt, the padding very short, so to have something very dynamic, it's going to cut the last.
Can you zoom in? Like, I'm serious. Yeah, zoom into that timeline. Let's dissect this thing.
If you look at that last wave and the very tiny half here, I think you can safely assume that compared to TimeBolt, it's shorter. Like there's a difference.
Can you open it simultaneously? Like, can you make the TimeBolt window smaller? Yeah.
There's a split view on Mac. I didn't know that.
So yeah, you see that you have. I would say that this is a bit. The silence is a bit bigger. Sorry, I cannot interact with it.
Can you separate the audio and make the audio bigger, like on Final
of
Cut?
course. How do you make it bigger?
Doug, how do you do it? How do you make the audio thing bigger?
That's something I never learned. I have TimeBolt. I don't need to screw with audio.
I could just raise the volume, but that's about the only thing I know how to do. But yeah, I put the two tracks side by side here, and you can see that basically here you don't have that silence on the bottom. You don't have it.
Yeah, I mean it usually won't be one-to-one. It won't be completely one-to-one because the technology and the software that's used to render the audio in Final Cut is different to the audio, and so it's not going to be exactly like one-to-one. Like there will be some artifacting happening there. But what we need to know is whether the sound of the audio that you're hearing, is that good enough? That's the main thing. Like, forget about the graphics. Like, if you're hearing the cut, do you think the cut is like clean enough for yourself?
I'm just gonna stop sharing because I think that we're done here. The sound is good. I'm not having that big of a problem. It's just that let's imagine that TimeBolt saves me 30 minutes or 45 minutes of work, and that precise thing, it's gonna have maybe 10 or 15 more minutes of work because I'm going to have to watch the whole thing. And when I want to, readjust something, I would have to do it. But since you are telling me that it seems normal because it's not going to be a one-to-one conversion, well, I have my answer. Like, I'm not going to try to find a solution. I'm just going to work with it.
Have you played around with the decibel level at all?
Yeah, so that's one of the things. Lately, I've been setting my sound detection thresholds very low because I have a very clean audio feed. My lavalier mic is very cool. So I think it's doing it a bit less. I was thinking maybe it was something related to sound detection on Final Cut and on TimeBolt that could be a bit different. And yeah, that seemed to a bit improve things. So I think I'm gonna keep doing things like that.
So I just want to show you like a bunch of stuff. Like, so in settings, right, you have a bunch of options, right? You have volume increase, then you have noise reduction, which you probably don't need. You probably don't need this. But audio normalization might be useful. So what audio normalization does is it tries to take the audio that you have to raise it to a uniform volume so that the ends are detectable.
Yeah,
and then the volume increase is then multiplying that to like increase the volume so that the detection algorithm has a bigger volume to play with. So these two options might help. As I said, again, the graphics are not going to be one-to-one. There is going to be artifacting where one wave might be shown in TimeBolt, but that same wave might be a different amplitude in Final Cut. So that's going to be there. We can have a call again next time that you can play around with these two options and see if that helps you. And
okay. I'll try looking at that and playing a bit with that. I didn't look too much into those options because time is a bit short on my side with the video project. So, but I'm going to try to look at that, and maybe next Thursday if I'm available, I can join you guys again and tell you what.
Right,
no problem. Have a nice day.
Thanks for choosing TimeBolt.
So, can you test the resolve thing, though?
Yeah, we'll test out DaVinci Resolve. Now the issue was there was some sync issues or just some issues happening with the resolve XML import where it would just cut right through the middle of a sentence. The cuts weren't doing what they're supposed to. I actually have a JSON file for this.
Oh, you have a JSON file for it?
Yeah, I just wanted to exactly replicate his. There's that.
What I found is that there are some cameras, right? So there are some cameras which add like a frame, a frame pusher, right? So it pushes the frame start time from, let's say, 0 seconds to 30 seconds. But that doesn't show up in the time itself. It has to be added as a meta information at the top of the file. So that's what I changed. So hopefully it will work.
And is that only specific cameras?
Specific cameras. It's like Sony cameras mostly, and I think Panasonic too.
Then I go to File. See, this is one thing that we have to make sure. You have to put your original source clip in here. I think people just try and put their XML. Then you're going to go to File Timeline. You're going to find your XML file and click Automatically Import Source Clips in a Media Pool. And then I'm going to change this to Resolve. Hey, could you hold on 1 second? Quincy, can you mute it sounds like you're typing a...
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Sorry. Now we're going to check the timeline. As you can see, it looks like everything is fixed. The cuts are where they're supposed to be.
Verändern willst. Diese Tipps werden dir helfen, den richtigen Weg zu finden. Nummer 1. Finde heraus, worin du gut bist und was du gerne tust. Den richtigen Job.
Okay, yeah, so this looks like it fixed it. So as Quincy was saying, what happened was they added some extra time code, and what would happen is once you'd import this into DaVinci Resolve, it would be like one piece of audio starts here and the other piece doesn't start here, and then there would be cuts like...
The whole thing is shifted.
Yeah, the whole thing shifted, so it all looked like, it didn't work. This is obviously good, a good XML, good import.
Yeah,
this is fixed.
The odd thing is, the interesting thing is that in Premiere Pro, even if you use the previous XML file, it still works. XML in Premiere Pro has no issue, but this only happened in DaVinci for the same XML file.
Interesting.
That's actually that's very interesting.
So it's the same XML file that still works in DaVinci. I mean, that still works in Premiere, but needed something new added to it to shift the frames correctly.
Yeah, a value change.
How the hell do you find that stuff out? Is it just like a constant testing, I guess? Looks like, so that's fixed. Great work. I will let them know that's going to be new in 6.2 or higher. I'm going to stop sharing.
4.6.3.
4.6.3. David, how you doing? It's Doug. It's David. I like that. I like that.
It's Spanish, right?
Is it?
Is that Spanish?
To my recently to cancel my sub because I stopped working my Twitch files. I'll be back to it later. Cool. And so what are you looking at?
Oh, it's an app which creates highlights of your gameplay. Interesting.
And where'd you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Vad, how you doing? Were you laughing as I was butchering your name? Davide.
Yes.
I'm Italian. No, not Spanish.
Not Spanish. Okay, Italian. Sorry, my bad.
My English not very well. Excuse me.
That's okay.
So you're from Italy? Is that right? Italy?
Yes, Italy.
I have an old friend in Italy. His name is Professor Rosario Lazenfam from the University of Catania. Right?
Yeah,
they came out.
Sud Italy.
So did you?
Iceland, Catania, Iceland, Sicilia.
Oh wow! So you went to the University of Catania?
No, I'm not. I'm from Marche, half past Italia.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's around there. Kind of know what I'm talking. You're like, yeah, that was my professor. That's awesome. Small world. So
excuse me, I have a problem in last update. I not export video clip.
Can you show?
Possible to export a video clip.
Can you show it?
Now, as you're pulling up your screen, and you'll hit a little button called share. Okay, hold on. Once as you're doing that, Quinston, what he's having an issue with is that error that I put in Slack. It's that error rendering. It gets to the end and it just stops rendering. And the one thing I haven't had to check, I haven't had a chance to see if the update that you made fixed it, nor have I had a chance to retest the way it was happening to me when I was doing it from a.
So it's a Windows file, right?
From
so
an external.
Just give me 1 second. I'll just make the new version and just send it to him.
The problem is clip export an error occurred.
Oh wow! Hold on. Interesting. Look at. Did you see that?
Can you go to the logs? Can you go to Documents and then there's a file called File Explorer? Can you open the File Explorer and go to Documents? Yeah, Documenti. Yeah.
Put the video here.
No, don't do any of that. It's just there's already a file there. It's TimeBolt data. Yeah, TimeBolt data.
No,
the
down one.
Fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. And there is event_log, the first file, and scroll to the bottom. Go down last at the end. You can press your page down page down key. Code width of null. Okay, we can fix this issue. This issue will be fixed in the update I'm sending you. So I'll send you a file. I will send you exe file.
Okay.
Download it and test. Okay, we'll download it and test. I mean, there's no way to fix it because what happens is when the video is being calculated, like we don't know what the frame rate is going to be when the actual file is going to be applied to the video in Premiere Pro. So it becomes a big issue.
Where are you talking? Are you talking about the Tim question?
Yeah. So Tim posted about.
Well, he's saying that he records it in constant frame rate in OBS, right?
No, so OBS doesn't, it does try to record constant, but it's not, okay, it still happened? It's still issue?
Okay, this is the file.
No, TimeBolt.txt, TimeBolt.txt. Yeah, so OBS, okay. I don't know how, because there's always going to, when you're recording the screen, there's always going to be an issue. Yeah, there's always going to be an issue when you're streaming over the internet and recording with OBS. So if you're doing it locally, maybe it could record.
Wait a second. You're, hold on. You're selecting an entire file, right? You're not selecting a video, I don't think, are you? Try that workflow again.
I select another video.
Yeah. So go to try and select another video. How are you using the video clips export currently?
I send you XML file. No. I use only the video clips because I'm working with Movavi, not working with DaVinci or.
Now the workaround for you until we get this fix for video clips is to just do add to render queue. Have you ever done that? Just go to add to render queue. No, yeah, right there. Right, the blue bar. Add to, yeah.
The blue bar is working. The
okay.
Render, I work with the render sometimes.
Okay.
The render is working.
Okay. So that's the fix. That's the only thing that you're going to be able to do unless you use XML until we get the video clips error fixed. So Tim, do you like? I mean. This eclipse.gg, what it just automatically edits everything down? Is that what it does? It'd be interesting. I mean, it's obviously a great looking website and stuff. It'd be interesting to understand timing and what your options are. Is it cutting dead air? Can you remove clips? Does it just tell you what's going to be good? And is that enough for live game stream play? I'm interested to know. Random unless.
Okay, I fixed it. I'll send you another.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But it's random unless you play games like COD and the games. Ooh, okay. So it does. It gets really easy to look at these and be like, holy shit, it does everything for you. And then you're like, how is it possible that it does everything for you? How much time does that take?
Okay, I fixed it.
And how can we do it right on your computer?
I'll send. Give me like 5 minutes. I'll upload file.
And Tim, that's I know we got two different conversations going on, but something we were hoping to achieve with markers was the ability to highlight the things that you were looking to include in the gameplay, and just be able to provide a way to go from long to macro to micro size video for these social platforms. Sounds like TikTok just increased to like 10 minutes their video, but those are, I appreciate you sharing this with us, because I don't know if you've looked at markers, but you press the letter M on your keyboard and it will turn a clip it'll just actually add a yellow bar, and at the end you can then filter down by just your markers, so you can watch just the video with the markers and export an XML with just the markers. So you can basically have one long video and all the timeline cut video, and then you could create a highlight reel with the markers in XML or render it straight. For gamers, for like the parts where you want to include some of your expression, there's a couple new features. Well, not new features, but one of them is flip timeline. I don't know if you've heard of that, Tim, where you're actually able to just flip and see you preview only the silences to be cut, and you're able to keep or allow in that instance.
Oh, perfect.
It works.
Nice. Dude, I've never seen that happen before. That's funny.
When I started with my channel, I cut manually video.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. You never know how much you love something until you don't have it.
One day for one video, simple video. This software is la manna dal cielo in Italy. Benedizione.
Can I have your permission to use that? I'm going to use that somewhere. Here, can you? Okay, Can you stop sharing and then re-say what you just said? You bet. Thank you for choosing TimeBolt. I appreciate it. My brethren in Italy. Have a good one. And then so I'm having a conversation with Tim over chat, okay. And then the second part about that, there's actually a new feature which we added. I don't know if you like speed things up or not, but there's a new feature that we added that allows you to take anything, let's say anything less than 2 seconds or 3 seconds, right? Or any amount of time. Instead of saying anything more than 3 seconds speed up, you can say anything less than 3 seconds speed up, which would basically speed up, and it won't mute. So you'll actually hear whatever's going on underneath that just sped up, which is awesome. So it's not like big breaks in audio and whatnot. But that would just allow you to kind of speed up the little parts in between gameplay, that don't involve like a more of a 5 or 6, 10 second dead air.
Yeah, so you can do both. You can do above 5 seconds or even below 5 seconds.
Yeah. And these are the things like we as soon as we hear them, we're good ideas, and then it just kind of takes us a while to create content on our own to be able to show we're not gamers here, but just kind of get.
I'm a gamer. I play Valorant.
Oh yeah.
I play a lot of Valorant. I'm platinum too.
Nice, dude. I learned my lesson when I got tennis elbow from playing too much Modern Combat. It's number 500 in the world.
I watch Twitch all the time, and I like Tariq stream up all the fucking time.
But that is interesting. That new fast forward feature, Quincy, on the dog park videos that I'm making. That's what I do. Yeah. I basically, I don't even cut stuff out, right? Because now I can just speed it up, and because I can speed up, there's no mute. You still don't like lose yourself. Like it's still like a part of the show. It's just things you can tell are enhanced and sped up in between the boring parts. Yeah, I really like it because I didn't know. Like with dog park videos and stuff, there's good action, like when Shadow gets into it with other dogs, which is always. But then there's like people that just want to watch, too. Like it's kind of like soothing, like to kind of see like the dog behavior, especially if there's bigger dogs and there's some tension. You don't really have to jump cut that in between the boring spots, and you can still keep it 10 to 15 minutes long. Take a 20-minute clip, turn it into 10 to 15 minutes of high action content that's still long enough to it's long form. So I'm having fun with that. Excellent. And so that's going to go in our update log, correct?
I'm going to push the update tonight.
Yeah.
For me, like I think it's important. Just because that video clips thing was a little caught me off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I fixed it already, so I can just push the update. Yeah.
Well, I think what she's saying. I think what she's saying is that she had like, and this is the way I know TimeBolt to work. You got a 300 meg file, for example. You run it through TimeBolt, filter it. It's usually like 282, right? Like it's like right around whatever it was. What she's showing here is that she's got a 16. The original is like 16,000. TimeBolt is 24, and the FFMPEG is 7,300.
Yeah, so the reason that is because it's probably a variable frame rate file. So if you see the frame rate is 29.98, standard frame rate. Can you see that?
Yeah, let's see.
So what's happening is that, so what's happening is that when TimeBolt is processing it, it's converting it into standard frame rate, and then it's doing the cutting also on top of that. So if there needs to be any sort of like bitrate change, so if you want to change the bitrate, putting it into TimeBolt is too complex for us right now. I would suggest using Resolve. Resolve is free. What you can do is you can export to XML with Resolve and then just process it in Resolve, because that's much better. You have much more control over the rendering process there. Putting that whole infrastructure in a TimeBolt right now is very difficult, and I can't promise of that feature for some time, because I mean it will take a bunch of coding like blocks away from. But the workaround is by using DaVinci Resolve, because Resolve is you can just export to XML, take the XML file, put it into Resolve, and then choose your rendering process. I would suggest like that.
We're just know that we are working on. We understand that the Sony cameras are like the named YouTuber cameras of the year. I mean, that's what a lot of YouTubers use, vlogging cameras, and then obviously iPhones. Who doesn't own one of those that makes video? Probably a large percentage of the population. And so we're working on making sure that we can get preview, see how to get preview working with some custom codec. Is it an the XVAC codec? I can't believe Sony doesn't have a good codec that just kind of works. And
maybe it's like built for the camera, and it means because it might have some sort of special feature that the camera hardware can use.
Yeah, there's only two options. I mean, there's only a 1080 and a 4K XVAC. There's no other option to it's not like I can save a different file. It's man, they're great cameras. I just got a wide angle lens that's coming in, so I can shoot better content. The lens that comes with it, it's like so like focused. Once you get away from like a vlogging type environment, it just doesn't big enough perspective or wide enough angle perspective. But yeah, I think that does it. It doesn't look like anybody else is on the line, and we've got some problems solved today. And thank you for joining us for TimeBolt office hours on, what is it? Is it the 29th today? Yeah, September 29th, 2022 with Doug and Quinston. And it looks like, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like, when we're going to actually go live, and hit the notification bell. And it looks like we're out of time. Thanks for joining us today.
Awesome.
Thank you, Quinston.